podcast party to slay a dragon.
You're headed for Theobad Troya's hermitage near Deepall Point. As you make your way across the plains, you're leaving Holdenshire and entering the plains of Ostanad. Wide sweeping plains and grasslands now turning yellow and gold as summer changes into fall. You make a 5-day journey across the plains of Ostanad, home to the Horse Lords. This is a region, not a nation. The many horse and plains people are loosely affiliated, but there's no central capital or king ruling over all the other people here. Each horse lord has anywhere from a few dozen to a few hundred swords pledged to them, and disputes between those under their charge are often resolved with contests of cunning and strength and vitality or combat. Some of the small towns that scatter their plains are ruled by local lords from their mead halls. We don't need to play through this extensively, but we're going to assume 5 days of traveling through these plains. The plainsfolk that you meet are eager to trade, and also perhaps to share information or news or participate in some journey activities with you. Would you like to tell me, first of all, basic business that you'd like to conduct, like stuff you would like to buy and sell, perhaps items that you would like to identify during this journey that you've picked up in Toymaker Hall or elsewhere, anything like that, and then we'll move on to getting your journey activities.
What magic items did we pick up in Toymaker Hall? I think we picked up at least one thing.
I got some paper armor that I need to attune to.
Is there anything that we didn't know what it was that we picked up?
Maliboo got a present, so Maliboo would like to, one night when he's sitting by the fire, just open up the present. Careful not to destroy the paper if he can actually save the paper.
Yes, you've never seen paper like this, Maliboo. It's sort of iridescent, purple and blue, and it kind of reflects the moonlight. You're somewhat fascinated by it, and it's a little slippery to the touch. So you spend a good long while carefully, without tearing, meticulously unwrapping the present. There's also a ribbon around it. And there's a little branded card on it that reads Uncle Gizmo's Box of Party Tricks. Violet, you have the identify spell, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Violet is able to identify this box of party tricks for you,
Okay.
Maliboo. So it's a small, neat box containing 1d12 glowing vials. So I'll need you to roll, Andy, and let me know. Roll a d12 and let me know how many vials are in the box.
Okay. I
Nice.
rolled a 1.
There's a 1.
No!
Okay, so you open
Great.
it. You know, you've had some evidence that Uncle Gizmo is a little cheap. So there's a almost completely empty rack of vials, except for one in the lower left corner. When you use an action to smash that vial on the ground, it will create a randomly determined effect from the box of party tricks table.
Better be good.
What do you guys think? Should I save it or should I?
Oh, of course you've got to save it.
There's just one, so I don't think it should go to waste.
No, it could be anything.
All right.
There are instructions to come with this thing. It just says throw on ground and something will appear.
I sort of remember this as something you could get. I mean, we couldn't afford it, but I believe you throw it and then you don't know what's going to happen. Something magical happens from it. It's a game of chance.
Right, but is the magic going to be like, ooh, a puff of smoke? Or is it going to be like, oh my god, a giant explosion or horrible monster? Will it be like, what's the range of magical effect here?
That's a good question.
I think, Violet, you would know that the magic involved is actually pretty powerful. It's unpredictable, but it's nothing as trivial as like a puff of smoke or a little illusion. It can have some surprisingly potent effects.
Yep.
I guess I'll save it.
In terms of any trade that you would like to conduct with the Plains tribes?
Can Maliboo buy some new armor? He can buy a steel halberd for 150 and a new shield, a new medium shield for 20.
Yes.
And he'll give his melted armor and shield to whoever sells it to him. He's not even going to ask for money.
Yeah, they gratefully accept that.
I would like to buy 2 greater healing potions, please.
Yes, that'll be 300 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
We have this ruby that was worth 75 gold pieces that I don't think we sold.
Correct.
Right.
I will be more than happy to sell this ruby for 75 gold pieces if we're a little low on cash, so to speak.
Cool.
All right, so I'm going to remove that and increase my gold by 75, which brings me up to 590. And I also have 200 silver, and I just want to get all the loose change out. If I just a quick exchange of silver to gold, if they don't mind getting out the 200 silver. And so that brings me up to 610 gold.
The journey also takes 5 days, during which you do consume 5 of your supply. however much
Right.
you're carrying.
Yeah.
You can certainly buy more from the plainsfolk at the rate of 2 supply per gold piece.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to buy 4, I guess, then.
Okay. Yeah, so
So
that'll
for 2 gold pieces.
Yeah, 2 gold pieces. You get
I'll
4.
top my supply back up to 8. I'll get 6 and give 1 of the supply to somebody else, I guess.
Oh, thanks, because I only have 7 now. So I'll
There
take
you go.
it.
Take the extra one.
Thank you.
Maliboo will buy 4, so he'll be down 1 to 17.
Any other business as far as like basic buying and selling that you'd like
Yeah,
to?
I'll get 1 greater healing potion.
And I would like to get 1 antitoxin.
Awesome.
May I ask, does anybody have a healer's satchel?
No.
No.
If you would like, I could have bought one for you.
All right, then, yeah, can I have a healer's satchel, please?
Yeah, I'll buy one for you. That's no problem.
Great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. How much would that be?
5 gold pieces.
It's not a reusable
Yes,
thing,
it is.
right? Oh, it is? Fantastic. So it's 5 gold pieces. Absolutely. Bringing me down to 612, and you now have a healer's satchel.
Thank you so much.
All right, because that plays into what I'm doing as a journey activity.
Carrie, it sounds like you might be ready to do your journey activity.
Yes.
And just as was the case during the previous outing when you journeyed to Toymaker Hall, the results of your successes and failures during this journey will be in effect for the remainder of your time in this region. So they will kick in when you reach Deepal Point.
I would like to harvest. I would like to find plants to refill my healer's satchel.
The healer's satchel, by the way, it has 10 uses, right? Just like a healer's kit in regular 5e. And basically what it does is when you use it, you automatically succeed on the medicine check to stabilize somebody instead of having to roll.
Nice.
And then you just subtract one of the 10,
10
uses.
uses.
I would like to harvest, so I would like to walk around quietly by myself and try to find medicinal plants.
Your choice of either an intelligence medicine or nature check.
I will do medicine, please.
Oh, I rolled a 25.
That is certainly a success. There are a lot of medicinal plants growing in these fertile grasslands and plains that you move through, Violet, and you have no difficulty in harvesting enough that would basically replenish 1 use of your healer satchel.
Oh, great. Hopefully we won't need it.
Carefully wrap those up and preserve them, keep them separately in your pack. Basically, you have now an 11th use of that healer satchel
Great.
if you need to.
I'm going to put it in a special little pouch, and I'm going to stitch the name Belton on it, because he gave me the satchel, and this will be his special kit.
In case of emergency, break satchel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Maliboo, do you know what you'd like to do?
Yes. Maliboo is going to take some twigs and sticks, and he is going to cover their tracks as they go along.
Okay, that will be a wisdom survival check. 17. That is a success. You notice, Maliboo, that your companions are depressing the high reeds of grass and leaving a pretty easy to follow trail. Like you look back in some alarm and you can almost see a snake-like path through the grasslands behind where you've been. So you take a little bit of extra time and go back and kind of refluff the grasslands to cover your passing. And it just looks like you are now silently and gracefully moving through a sea of grass, and Maliboo falls to the rear of the party and diligently replaces everything as you pass through, confounding any attempts to track you through these grasslands.
Don't worry, I'll catch up. Just keep going. I think Curzit said that someone was following me. She's looking for me. I don't know who she is. Do you know who that is, Belton? Belton.
What?
He said she's following me, the troll, the big one. Do you know who she is?
I'll be honest, I was kind of involved with saving my own life during that moment in time, so I had no idea what you're talking about.
Violet, do you know?
No, I have no idea. Sorry to say.
I don't know who it could be. Maybe it's my mom. You think it's my mom?
You don't even know your mom?
No, I told you, they took me
No,
when I was
he was
little.
raised by trolls, dear.
Right, I mean, okay, that's... All right, that's weird. I don't know why the trolls would be under orders of your mom to get you back. That's really depressing.
Okay, then
honestly,
who is it
but-
then?
Maybe
Why
it
would
is
anybody-
your mother.
Why would anybody care about me?
Well, I mean, you're a good person, Maliboo. You've got a good heart. You're a little crazy at some point, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes. All right. The other thing you'll notice about Maliboo is on this journey, his hair is now orangey and yellow. It looks like fire, and it often moves like a flame and little bits fall off like sparks every now and then. But there's no actual fire. It's just his hair.
Super cool.
And finally, Belton, do you know what you'd like to do?
You said this took 5 days, so I guess we have to sort of look into the very fine details of this particular journey activity, which is rob. This one specifically states that adventurers can force others into handing over their coins with a successful intimidation or pickpocket travelers with a successful sleight of hand. But this journey activity usually takes a week to complete. Are we talking work week or are we talking full
Business week?
And you certainly, you're moving through these holdings of the horse lords. You're trading with people. You're seeing, travelers passing through the plains. So you have encounters with multiple people. You can certainly ply your hand at some robbing during this trip.
Wonderful. Here we go.
I don't know what you're doing. I'm finding plants.
So Belton, are you attempting to bully people or are you pickpocketing them?
Oh, I'm a little person. I don't think I would be very good at being a bully. No, definitely pickpocketing. I have a special thing with sleight of hand that I can get an expertise die in using sleight of hand to pickpocket people. So I'm going to...
Okay, yeah, feel free to apply your expertise die. And I actually see they've anticipated that you might have fewer than 7 days to pull this off, in which case you get half the gold.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Here we go. Expertise die. Not a great roll. I got a 14.
Okay, a 14 is still a success. You do take advantage of the friendly and hospitable plainsfolk that you meet. You can roll a 1d8, Matt.
I'm so glad I don't know this is happening.
Pieces you rip them off for, but it will be cut in half because you're robbing for less than a week.
Okay, I rolled a 4.
Okay, so you rip them off for 2 gold pieces during the course of your journey.
2 is my lucky number. I'm all right with it.
Wonderful. At the edge of the plains, as you climb the foothills into the mountains, you pass above the smoldering remains of the easternmost hold of the Ostinad horse lords. It's visible about half a mile below you in the valley. You can see a once thriving village of stalls and modest houses and gathering places is gone. Every structure burned down to its foundation. Anything organic has been reduced to heaps of ash carried far by the carefree wind. Of the villagers themselves who lived in that habitation, there are no easily spotted signs as you climb up into the foothills above that little town. Following Visvalva's directions, you make your way towards the hermitage of Theobad Troya. Find a camouflaged hut sitting at the end of a game trail, hidden behind thick evergreen trees. Nearby, under a rough-hewn pergola covered in creeping vines and slabs of bark, is a simple altar and a comfortable long bench. The shelter stretches to the mouth of a small, cool cave, and since Maliboo's covering your tracks check succeeded, Theobad, you are unaware of your visitors until they are almost on your doorstep, and then you wake up hearing low voices whispering to each other and footsteps crunching on dry leaves and broken sticks just outside of your hut, Theobad.
Oh, God, protect me. I'll cast Detect Evil and Good.
You do detect your little altar, which you've previously consecrated outside your hut. That has not been desecrated or disturbed. In addition to your consecrated altar, Theobad, you detect the presence of one fae creature just outside the walls of your hut.
I will shout into the distance, "Hold your positions. I don't need any tricks in here."
Oh,
So you hear that gruff voice emanating from inside the hut.
I think he's talking to us.
oh, yes, we'll stay right here. Hello?
Hands where I can see them. Hands up.
Whoa. We don't mean any trouble here. Hold on.
He starts to peek out of the cave a little with what looks like a makeshift crossbow that he may have created by himself out of twigs and rocks and things around. It just eases through, peeking out through his one good eye. "Who sent you?"
I'll ask the three of you to describe yourselves to Theobad, starting with Maliboo.
You see an Eladrin elf. You can tell he's Eladrin because his hair is just orangey and yellow, and it flows a little bit around his head like fire. He's handsome, got a strong chin, and he's skinny, but he's very, very ripped. His muscles, he just looks like probably the strongest elf you've ever seen. He wears armor, and he's carrying a sword and a shield.
And Theobad, you've lived in proximity of the Plains tribes long enough to recognize their craftsmanship on his armor. Belton, can you describe yourself?
Belton is a middle-aged halfling. He's about 3'9", 3'10". He's wearing studded leather armor. He has a beautiful mane of dark brown hair and a 5 o'clock shadow ever present on his face, and sort of a little bit of a gleam in his eye of mischief.
And Violet.
Violet is a gnome, So she's a little bit shorter than Belton. She has long brown braids and brown eyes, and she's wearing a simple but very well crafted purplish blue robe. And around her neck, in a little tiny cup with some padding in it, is a mouse. And the mouse seems a little strange, but you can't quite figure out why, because you're not close enough to see. But there is a little friend in a pouch around her neck. And she's smiling. She looks friendly.
Theobad, can you please describe what they see when they look at you?
Through the vines that are kind of covering the mouth of the cave, behind the crossbow is a sullen, dark, dwarvish figure. Looks as if he was stout at one time, but he may have been fading in recent years. The reddish beard is gone, white and gray, and you can see that there's a large scar across one eye that looks like it does not function anymore. Keeps his other eye quite wide and says once again, "Who sent you?"
Are you Mr. Troya?
Troya. Roll the R. Have some respect.
Troya.
We were sent here by Viswava Fadap.
So she sends me her scraps, eh? I'm not going back.
We're not scraps, really, but you don't know us, so I forgive you. We're not here to ask you to go anywhere. In fact, you have a very cool little hut here. And also your crossbow is amazing.
Flattery will get you somewhere. Keep going.
Yes, I mean, it looks like you have quite a lot of experience in crafting weapons. I've never seen a crossbow made with that particular assortment of flowers and sticks and rocks, and I would love to learn.
Took me better part of 3 decades to learn. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't be doing that then, but I will admire it from here.
What's that around your neck? Keeps wiggling.
Oh, this is Mort. Mort, say hello. I'm sorry, I should have introduced you.
And I'll hold up my hand, and Mort will hop from his little basket onto my hand, and I'll hold him up. And as I hold him up, one of his ears falls off. And I'll just, hold on a moment.
And you gotta get that thing fixed, like, for real.
And I pick up his ear, and I just say, Risaccio, and I mend his ear back onto his head. And you can see part of his skull is showing, and one of his hands are kind of skeletal, but he has some fur left on him, so he's clearly some sort of zombie mouse. But he twitters happily at you, and I say,
This is Mort. He's very pleased to meet you.
Hello, Mort. So you were sent for me, not to take me anywhere. What do you want?
Well, we were sent by Viswava to come to seek your aid, honestly. We, what, was it, is it funny?
It's ironic.
Right?
I sought her aid once.
Oh, well, hopefully no bad blood about that. Anyway, the concept here is that we kind of need your help to, I know this is going to sound really stupid, but we kind of want to head over into the Desolation. I know it's kind of like north of this particular place.
I'm in.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
great.
that was very, very forward of you. Okay, I like this guy.
No, stop talking, Belton.
Sorry, I just get nervous around old dwarves.
He
Sorry.
said he'd do it.
Great. Would you mind if we came inside just to discuss it further?
Wipe your feet.
Of course.
Yes, quite so.
Why am I wiping my feet?
Because if they're dirty, they're filthy. Look at your feet. They're awful. Have you seen your feet?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
they're way down there from up there, but you got to look down to see your feet.
I guess you're closer than me, so okay, all right. I'll wipe my. What do I wipe them on?
Anything.
There are some leaves. There are some leaves over there.
All right. Maliboo will wipe his feet for the first time in his entire life.
He will slowly peel back the vines on the top of the cave and lower the crossbow and gesture you in.
Nice. I like the accoutrement. I look around. What am I seeing inside this wonderful establishment?
It's a small, cool cave. There is a recess at the south end dugout leading downward into a root cellar. There's a patch of mushrooms growing inside the cave, and there's also a small pool filtering down through a little subterranean waterfall, though probably melting water from higher in the mountains, but it's flowing directly into a small pool inside Theobad's cave. Well-scaled maps have been painted on the walls showing numerous structures, and you can see dotted lines and X's all over the maps as if somebody's been trying to figure out various ways to move through the structures depicted on the maps, but then keeps crossing out and rejecting the plan. The maps look like they've been drawn and redrawn painstakingly and carefully, And it looks like the work of months, if not more, to create the maps. It looks a little obsessive.
That's impressive.
Nothing's worked yet. Ale? He goes over to a little cask in the corner.
We'll not say no to ale, absolutely.
For the record, since Theobad has opened his hermitage to share with you, it now counts as a haven, meaning that if you took a long rest here, you would be able to recover any fatigue or strife that you're suffering.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
I will take some hollowed out, look more like bowls than cups from this cask that also looks very piecemeal, and some brown water comes out of it basically and hands you each a bowl.
Oh, that looks nice.
Take a sip.
Pretty bad.
How it's pretty bad. Yeah. Yeah. Guessed as much. I will not show my utter revulsion on my face as best I can and just smile at Theobad.
Anytime Theobad looks away, I'm going to ask Mort to drink some.
Okay.
So it looks like I'm drinking it.
Yeah, so Mort does lean down eagerly to drink. You notice that some of the liquid that's going into Mort's mouth is leaking out of his sides.
Yes, he can't help it.
He's in a cup. It's okay.
Yeah, okay.
He just kind of watches you all drink silently, having some himself, really, really staring at you for a bit until finally, I mean, you know it's a suicide mission, don't you?
Wait, what?
Well, we're hoping
What?
not, honestly.
No,
Yes.
I don't want to die.
No, none of us want to do that. But
That's not the plan, really.
yeah,
but
right, exactly.
We're going to kill the dragon. We're not going to die, right?
Oh,
I
boy.
think you thought that was funny.
I haven't heard a joke in about 5 years, so I do appreciate it.
Thanks.
What's your plan to kill a dragon?
Right, yeah. It's really kind of to slay a dragon, but it's just semantics. But the whole idea is we came to you because, from what we understand, you and the rest of your kin had some kind of really amazing weapon that you were planning on using on Cirothe, but never had the opportunity to do it. Kind of wanted to learn more about it.
The weapon comes with a cost.
Oh, what's
Doesn't
that?
sound foreboding at all. What is the weapon, first of all?
The Hammer of Vengeance, it's called.
Nice name.
Yeah.
We are not subtle people. If there's anything that can destroy the source of power that damn dragon has, gotta be that.
So there's a source behind Cirothe? Can you be a little bit more specific about that?
He stares at you again for a second, and I'd like to ask you a few questions first, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Seems fair.
Okay.
What would you die for?
Oh, wow.
My friends, my family. If somebody else were being threatened or tortured in some way and I thought I could intervene and then I should die, I would be okay with that. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. I have already died once, so I suppose it'll be pretty much the same.
I never really thought about it. I guess someone was going to hurt Belton and Violet. I would die for them, but I don't want to die. I'm pretty clear about
No.
that.
Me neither.
Maybe to kill the dragon?
I don't often think about death that much. It's really depressing and it sort of sets me off my game. But if I were to die, I mean, I don't have any close family. I've never been attached. The only people who are close to me are the people that you sort of see in front of you and my family, extended family. Back in Holdenshire, I got a cousin named Mike O'Ferris. He's got 3 daughters. Their names escape me to this day, but I do love them.
I think it's Wendy, Wanda, and Gulp or something.
Yeah, every time it goes into my head, it just sort of spills right out the other ear. I don't know why. Every time.
It's true. The only one that sticks with me is Gulp. You know, the
Gorp.
other ones.
Yeah,
It's
how
the
do you
W
forget
thing.
Gorp?
As you speak of Myko and his daughters, Belton, your mind almost involuntarily drifts to the burned village that you saw climbing up into the foothills.
Oh, so what happened here?
Our axes grew dull, our spirits shackled, our children's laughter silenced. The dragon's desolation spread, and we held out as long as we could, but a group of hill giants, I believe working with the dragon, were sent in. Could not hold those off anymore, and the cowards fled. Those of us that remained had little left to fight with.
I'm so sorry.
I appreciate your condolences, but I hear a little bit of hope in your voices. Haven't heard that in a while either. So, if you would help me strike the heart of our tormentors, I will lend you my axe and my hammer if we can find it.
It's very kind of you. About that thing that you mentioned about the hammer, just because I want to make sure that I note it down. You said you didn't use the hammer because it came with some kind of a cost or a price or something bad. You want to tell me a little bit about that? Or maybe now's not the time. I don't know. It's up to you.
I'd say it's between me and the Forge God. I wouldn't worry about it for your sake.
Okay, fair.
The hammer is designed to burst any magical artifacts. We believe that there's a crystal that this dragon is using to tether it or empower it. I'm not sure. Anything can break the crystal, it's the hammer.
Oh, so maybe we could avoid her and sneak around to where that crystal is if it exists, and maybe weaken her a bit.
Right, and there's a secret way in, right? Didn't someone say there was a secret way in?
In fact, the coward's map indicates that there is a passage through Deepall Point, under the mountains, into the Desolation near Skull Mountain that would allow you to pass through most of the Desolation unseen and unobserved. Theobad is also aware that indeed at the back of the shrine, there is such a secret path through the mountains.
What are you proposing here, Theobad, in terms of what we can do for you?
Takes a big sip of the ale and puts the bowl down and sort of wobbles towards a map on the wall and points at it. The only one that's not been marked off. If we can get through here, we'll pass through the Great Forge. We could pick up the hammer on our way. But my people are being held by the hill giants here. And the way to Skull Mountain is here. I'll help you get the hammer. You gotta help my people get free.
That sounds like a worthy cause.
Hill Giants, I see, with an S at the end of those two words.
Don't worry, they're not as bad as trolls. It's all right.
I think they're equally bad.
I hope they smell a lot worse, because that was a problem for me. These trolls smelled really amazing, like the best thing you've ever smelled in your life, and then I was a little bit useless for a while, so I'm hoping hill giants are sort of disgusting and unwashed. Is that true? You've seen them.
I was enslaved for about 5 years. I don't know if I could smell myself versus them, but it was not pleasant.
Okay, I should be more useful then. I'm very sorry to hear about that, though. I hope we can free your friends and gain you some measure of peace.
How many people have the Hill Giants captured?
Those still survive so far. I can't know for sure. There were still a dozen or so left when I managed to get out. A lucky cave in at the right moment. They allowed me to use my healing powers to help both friend and foe. I was being dispatched to heal a hill giant. A cave in happened, fell right on him. I ran out.
Do you know of any weaknesses they have, or you could give us any suggestions of how we might best battle them, should we meet them?
Hill giants are a proud people, which is ironic because they're also not particularly intelligent. Deadly combination of being confident and stupid may be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
That said, these giants have leagued up with a powerful entity, and that's smarter than I've ever heard a giant be before.
Meaning the dragon.
Indeed.
Right.
They also seem to have some sort of pet lizard or lizards wander around with them from time to time. The entrance here is guarded by a giant all times, and there is some sort of lizard creature with it. I do not recognize the creature. I tried to draw it over here, and his crude drawing of a strange worm thing is on the wall.
Can we figure out at all what that is? Or
It's like a stick figure lizard or something like that. Here we go.
I would say let's do two things. Let's have Theobad make a charisma performance check. and then the rest of you can try to make an intelligence nature check to interpret the artwork.
18.
Okay.
That's a pretty good drawing.
He had years.
Maliboo rolled a 15.
Violet rolled an 18.
Those are pretty good rolls. So you study the crude drawing for a little bit. It looks very much like a lizard, Violet, than Maliboo, but the scale that Theobad has drawn it, in correlation to the buildings he's drawn it near, far larger than any lizard you've ever seen, like a lizard the size of a horse.
Whoa. And it's on all fours or it's on its hind legs?
It's on all fours.
Oh, boy.
Is it a kind of dragon?
Could be. I don't think I've seen it fly.
Yeah, and Theobad would know it certainly does not have wings. It has kind of a frill on its back.
So how many giants are there total in this place?
They all look alike. It's a bit hard to tell, but I wouldn't imagine more than a handful, honestly.
That's good to hear, at least.
Do you have any particular skills, things that you can help with? I limited in what I can do. I can swing a mace or an axe pretty good, and I can heal, make things kind of burn if I need to.
I have some spells. I can also do some healing. I can shoot some eggplants at people. I can turn invisible sometimes. I guess you'll just have to see. We're a pretty versatile group.
I do fighting. I kill things with this sword, and he pulls out the Dragonbane sword.
That's impressive.
Thanks.
I usually try to stay very far away from danger if at all possible. Let my friend Maliboo there do the smashy, slashy. I will attempt to get into where they cannot see and stab them with the finger. And I pull out the dwarven dagger and show it. This is the Forge God's finger. I don't know. Maybe you have seen it. Maybe this was yours. I don't even know.
He falls to his knees for a moment as you hold the dagger out.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness!
Whoa! Hey, take it easy. This is just a. Okay then.
This changes things. These aren't just daggers; they're keys.
Right? Yeah. That's what Lady Pemberton told me. She said this was a key.
Oh, won't be easy to tell what it goes with, but we can potentially get into some areas with that.
Oh, great.
Okay. Things are looking up. But yeah, like I said, I can distract, and then when they're not looking, just sort of give them one right in the kidneys.
Well, perhaps this night we use the cover of darkness to. Can you all see in the dark?
Yeah, no, I cannot.
I was thinking we could use the cover of darkness invisibility. Try to time it well when one of those lizard things isn't around. Take out the giant before it can call its friends. After that, it's stealthing down this tunnel, trying your dagger on a few doors, hoping not to disturb any others.
And for what it's worth, Theobad, you've had nothing but time on your hands to observe the entrance to the Forbidden Shrine and the patterns of the guards. The lizards definitely are only present during the day on the outside of the shrine, and they do a lot of basking in the sun when they are out. You've never seen one outdoors during the night. You suspect that they don't like the cold very much.
Night's the best time for avoiding those lizards as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess tonight is as good as any. I think I might be able to get this giant away from the door and let you folks in, and then sneak around and find you. The problem is that I need something to follow in the dark. Last time I was holding on to Violet's hand, very graciously offered, but I think this time I'm going to have to sort of be far away from you to do what I need to do to distract this giant at the door.
Maybe Mort could help.
How would that work with Mort?
Mort, you can tell me if you think this is not acceptable. Okay, well, I'm thinking maybe we could tie a little string around Mort's waist, very lightly, so it wouldn't hurt. And then you could hold the other end of the string, and then Mort could go the way that you need to go, and you could feel which way he was going with the string, and he could tug on it if there was danger. That's the best I have, unless I were to go with you.
Now, Violet, I like this. I've never been led by a mouse, but there's a first time for everything. I don't see why that's such a bad plan.
Plans coming together. We can get pretty close and you can kind of check things out from this lookout point, just to the trees up there. Beyond that, I don't have any other ways to help you see in the dark. I apologize.
Are the caverns inside lit?
Theobad, when you were in there, the hill giants, for what it's worth, cannot see in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
There are braziers lit in many areas of the interior of the shrine, at least
Oh, great.
the areas that
Thank
you were
God.
kept in.
Great.
Yes, it's a light. They can't really see in the dark either.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
great.
You can see from the lookout point that Theobad indicates that he's scouted out for you. So you're looking down on the shrine entrance. The moon is peeking over the hills and casting long shadows across the valley as you make your way to the lookout point, looking down into the Forbidden Shrine. You can see a pair of towering doors carved into the stone cliff and an ancient road leading up to them. The road is overgrown and worn to dust and gravel by neglect and countless travelers moving up and down it. To the south and west of the entrance is a tranquil pond with a massive statue in the middle of it. To the southeast is a ruined watchtower, and there is a giant leaning heavily against the wall of that tower. He's about 15 feet tall. He has a massive tree trunk of a great club resting nearby. His hands look like oversized mitts of scars and calluses. His bulbous stomach and wide chest expand with each breath like huge bellows. Above a squat neck sits a harsh jaw, a brutish nose, small beady eyes that blink sluggishly, all topped with a patch of greasy, unkempt hair. He's inside a partially collapsed tower. You see mighty blocks of weathered stone around him that form a large ring on a small hill. Theobad, you know that these are the last vestiges of a great watchtower from ages past. Grass is peeking through the smooth flagstones covering the ground. A gnarled, solitary tree sways defiantly in the breeze, its thick roots anchored firmly into the palisade. And then north of the pond and the watchtower is a paved road leading to a bridge over a chasm. At the bottom of the chasm is dark water, and at the far side of the bridge is the entrance to the shrine, those two towering dwarven doors, and there are lit braziers in front of the doors. For the record, Theobad, those braziers were installed by the invaders. They were not there when the shrine was held by dwarves.
As we kind of crouch down and look at this site, I think you could see like a very nervous kind of fidget in his hands. He's been waiting for this for some time. Don't see the lizard. That's the one guard. Those blasted braziers they installed will show our shadows if we're not careful. Don't fall off the bridge is all I can say.
Well, there's only one guard, and he's over there, right?
Yeah, should we take him out?
No. Hold on. There's smarter ways, right? We gotta fight smarter, not harder. Besides, hill giants, they have a predilection towards squishing things smaller than them.
Yes, I think if it should sneeze, I would be squished.
We don't want you to turn into goo again.
Thank you.
The mort on a string plan, I think, is still in effect, if at all possible. Yes?
Oh, yes, of course, yes. Right, Mort?
Okay. Now, I see some rather large boulders. Do they seem tall enough to hide our presence if we were to somehow make our way north on this road, you think?
Oh, yeah. They're massive.
Okay. I point over to the statue in the pond. Hey, what is that?
Yeah, Theobad, you know that it's an ancient statue of a dwarven boy holding an offering bowl at the pool's center. The boy is nameless, but throughout your life in Deep Hall Point, he was always referred to as the Guardian. And you also know that at least, during the time when the Forge priests tended to the shrine, that pool was always filled with holy water.
That's our guardian. He, was supposed to watch over us. I suppose it's seen better days. I don't know if they're keeping up with the water or not, but it used to be holy.
Okay. Plan, be that as it may in my mind, is slowly coming to fruition, although I don't know if it's going to work. If you folks put yourselves behind one of those boulders, I could distract that hill giant, have him come across the road, and then you guys can move around to the right and go behind him to the bridge. Because otherwise, if we just go along the road, he's going to spot us.
But don't you think he has a way to, call his friends? Can anybody see a bell or a gong or, something, a horn?
I don't see any horns or bells or anything. I think that he's just there to squish anything that comes in their direction.
Tal, can we see any sort of device that would make noise so he could alert people that...
Make a wisdom perception check.
A 7.
You don't see anything like that. The only implement that you can spot that he has is this great club that's kind of leaning against the wall of the ruined tower next to him.
So if I can get him to come across the road, you guys can go around back.
Behind the tower, you mean? Or the ring of stones?
Yeah, that. And then head over to the bridge.
And then he's going to follow us over the bridge.
No, he wouldn't see you.
They can't see in the dark very well.
But he'd see you.
Nah, I've got my ways of getting out of trouble.
Suppose if you could make it as if it were some sort of animal or something it could feast upon, maybe it would give chase for a certain distance and then give up and not think twice.
I've got a little bit of a more, insidious plan. Trust me, I've done this particular, con a whole bunch in Northminster. You have no idea how well it worked up there, so this may work.
Belton rarely disappoints.
But when I do, it's a doozy, let me tell you.
All I care about is getting in there.
All right, well, it sounds like as good a plan as any.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're enjoying Podcast Party to Slay a Dragon, presented by Cast Party and EN Publishing. The show will be back shortly for the second part. For this series, we're using Level Up Advanced 5th Edition to enhance the classic D&D 5e experience. For more info on these cool new rules and enhancements for your 5th Edition D&D games, visit levelup5e.com. You can also purchase this adventure as part of Level Up A5E's To Save a Kingdom, available in both hardcover and PDF formats. This fall, Cast Party returns to the Good Witch in Hastings-on-Hudson, New York, on Saturday, October 19. Join us for an evening of dragon slaying, dungeon delving, treasure hunting adventure. Our professional dungeon masters will lead your party through a tabletop adventure. No previous D&D experience is necessary. Admission includes a 3-hour Dungeons & Dragons experience with a professional dungeon master, a delicious drink and snack courtesy of the Good Witch, plus a few surprises. Located just a short train ride from New York City in the historic Hastings-on-Hudson station on the Metro North Hudson Line. Planning to attend with a group? We'll make sure you're seated with friends and family. New player or attending alone? We'll make sure you're at a table to suit your experience level. Tickets are on sale now at cast-party.com, so don't wait to grab yours. Thanks so much to all of you who helped make Attack on Copper Coil become a gold bestseller on Dungeon Masters Guild. As a result, this adventure will form the second part of the Copper Coil cast, a new Cast Party actual play podcast series premiering in October 2024 right here in this feed. Returning for that show will be Zack Byrd, who appears as Theobad Troya in this episode of To Slay a Dragon. Zack is a New York actor and lifelong D&D player. He's the dungeon master of Party Foul, a YouTube D&D live play. His TV and film work includes Hustlers, Pledge, Blindspot, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Mr. Robot, and All You Can Eat. Zack is also the co-founder of Young Dragonslayers, a D&D-based online coaching program for tweens and teens. Young Dragonslayers helps kids and teens form meaningful friendships and practice social skills through online D&D. They connect kids with like-minded peers across the US and Canada to embark on an adventure facilitated by a professional DM in a safe and inclusive environment. Their online course, Dragon Leaders, is available to aspiring dungeon masters everywhere starting this summer. Learn more at youngdragonslayers.com. Cast Party's professional dungeon masters are available to hire for online games. We have games for kids as well as adults, and our DMs can run almost any of the official Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventures, as well as third-party adventures, and even some we've created ourselves. Details at cast-party.com. Do you ever feel like you have a great visual picture in your head, but you need a little help putting it into words? Well, with a subscription to Describe, you can access thousands of descriptions of monsters, spells, locations, and more, as well as maps, music, and sound effects to enhance your games. Only at describe.com. That's DSCRYB.com. Would you like 10% off that subscription? Follow the link in the show notes and use the discount code CASTPARTY, all one word, all caps, to save 10% on your first subscription. As always, we're offering monthly free adventures with our Dungeon Masters. These free games fill up quickly, so if you'd like to grab a spot, you should join our email list or our Discord server. Links to both can be found at cast-party.com. If you enjoy Podcast Party, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. Message us on social media or email us at info@cast-party.com. Follow us on Facebook at CastPartyDND, on Twitter at CastParty2, on Instagram at Cast_Party, on TikTok at Cast_Party, or on Threads at Cast_Party. Thanks very much for listening, and now, back to our adventure. You make your way down the trail from the lookout point. You can see the watchtower rising directly ahead of you on the top of the hill, and the old road continues northwest of your position and eventually becomes paved and then reaches the bridge.
Okay, I'm going to take out a length of twine, strong twine, and I'm going to take a little piece of fabric as a buffer, like a comfy buffer between Mort's skeletal, furry little body and the twine. And I'm going to tie it tightly enough that it won't come off, but not too tightly. And I make it about 5 feet long, the string coming off of him. And then I'm just going to say,
Okay, Mort, you're going to show Belton which way to go. He wants to go that way.
Okay, Violet, this is going to be a wisdom animal handling check. You'll have advantage because Mort wants to cooperate with you. Mm-hmm. But this is a little more sophisticated than what Mort is generally called upon to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more a case of getting him to understand.
Got it. Okay, that's a 19.
Okay, yeah, Mort raises his hand in like a little mouse salute. You feel like he's got a pretty good grasp of what's being required of him here. You make
Great.
his little leash.
Good job. Wonderful.
And then I also just want to say to him,
Mort, remember the time that I got on the boat without you by accident? And it was terrible. I hate that memory. But you found your way back to me, so I just want you to remember, if we should be separated for any reason, you just follow my trail and come back to me, okay? Like you did last time. Okay, great. He's all yours, Belton. He will guide you true.
Now, this mouse, this Mort, he's not breathing anymore, right? So it doesn't really matter if he's underwater, right?
Oh, I've never asked. Mort, are you okay being underwater? It seems so, yes.
Okay. Belton points to the statue in the middle of that pond of water. Because I'm gonna swim out there and hide behind the statue. Whatever you hear, obviously, it's not real. Hopefully it should be enough to distract that hill giant.
All right.
Tell us when to go.
Got Mort on his little string leash, Belton. Is it your intention for now to sneak over to the pool?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. Dexterity stealth check, please.
That is a dirty 20.
Okay.
All right.
So Belton will move, putting Mort, yes, for the time being, with his string around him in one of my pockets, and I will move quietly and stealthily to the boulder between my friends and the statue, and then from the boulder, sort of spotting the hill giant on the hill above, and then wade into the water and swim to where that statue is.
You make your way towards the pool and then into the water, Belton. You're bathed in moonlight, and lily pads are floating peacefully on the calm water. You step in, initially around the edge of the pool, your feet touch the bottom. Once you get about 10 feet out, you're sort of kicking with your toes at the stony lake bed and then swimming.
Okay, so I'm going to swim very slowly, very quietly out past these lily pads into the deeper area of the pond towards the statue.
You're creating ripples that spread throughout the pool away from your body, but take your time. You kind of swim drift across the calm pool. You reach the base of the statue. It's a dwarven boy holding a bowl. The statue's base is out of the water, so once you approach, you're kind of able to scramble up. It's kind of a 3-tiered base. Only the bottom tier is submerged. There are then 2 tiers, each slightly smaller in circumference, and then the feet of the statue. So you kind of hop up, get your ass up on the 2nd tier, just your feet in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And you're now positioned behind the statue, kind of sitting behind the boy's legs.
Okay. Before I go about distracting the hill giant, I just want to sort of take a quick look in the vicinity of the statue, look in the bowl, look around the statue itself, see if there's anything interesting about it.
Sure, a wisdom perception check.
That's a natural 20 for 21.
Oh.
Nice.
There's a sense of peacefulness and calm and tranquility radiating off of the pool itself. It was perhaps the most pleasant little late-night mountain swim you've ever had in your life, Belton. You recall Theobad's words about the pool being filled with holy water. And with that perception check, your instinct suggests to you that it is still the case.
Okay.
But you don't notice anything strange about the statue. It doesn't seem to have any secret compartments in it or anything like that.
Okay. Not that I'm a religious halfling at all, but it's perhaps good luck to bring holy water with us whenever we can find it. So I will dump out my canteen and fill it with the holy water and then cap it.
Great. You now have a flask of holy water, Belton. Level Up A5E holy water is exactly the same as regular 5e holy water.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Belton has a relatively new ability since he attained 4th level called Innocent Facade Distraction. It gives me an expertise die on performance checks. I can use an action to make a performance check opposed by the insight of creatures of my choice that can see or hear me.
Nice.
If they fail, until the end of my next turn, the creatures have disadvantage on perception checks and a -5 to their passive perception score.
Wow.
Ooh.
Awesome. So what does your performance consist of, Belton?
Belton will, in his mind, he's like, okay, dwarven boy, little dwarven boy, but, dwarven boy talks like this. Yes, but he's a dwarf, so he talks, I don't shit. Here we go. Titan of the Hills.
The rest of you, from your vantage point, you see the hill giant's head raise.
Sorry, wait. Is that what a dwarven boy sounds like?
I don't fucking know. I'm making this up as I go.
Yeah. You see the hill giant's head raise from his stupor and his brow furrow as if he's having that exact thought.
Yep, there we go. I keep it going. Confidence in performance. Here we go. I say, the dwarven realm and its guardians implore you to abandon this hallowed ground. A mighty curse awaits those who defy the guardian on this his spectral plea. Shit, I have no fucking clue what I am saying. Here we go.
Yeah. All right, make a performance check.
Oh, God.
That's charisma performance.
I don't know what I'm hoping for more.
The nonsense will scare him, hopefully.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Here we go. This is with that specialty, so I do get the additional die on it. Here we go. Okay, that is a 12. I rolled a 9.
You see it reach for its club, and its eyes get wide. For what it's worth, you can't really make out details from here. This is the three of you who are still watching from the trail. It seems to be wearing something around its neck, like a massive collar with a wooden plaque of some kind hanging from it. But it's dark, it's nighttime. You can't really make out any details of what might be featured on that plaque. But it is unmistakably, nervously backing away from the voice.
Oh, no.
Okay. Do I know if that was a success or a failure?
You actually can't see it, Belton.
That's true. I couldn't see it. So that's up to them to tell me. Crap. If I don't hear the thudding sounds of hill giant footsteps coming
true.
towards
He's not being quiet. So you can hear him walking because he's 15 feet tall and he's very heavy.
Right.
You hear him move and you hear a crunching sound. It sounds like he's pushing and cracking tree branches, but the sounds are getting further away from you, Belton.
Okay. I will say, the very ground beneath you shudders with your fear and discontent. Retreat from this sacred domain and take your brothers with ye.
So you see him retreat from the watchtower, those of you who can see his position, and he is moving towards the bridge.
Great.
Satisfied with my job, I will look over at Mort and say, I think I did a pretty good one. What do you think? Okay, that was mediocre at best. I would have thought you would have given me a little bit more of a compliment, but that's okay. All right. Hopefully that worked.
When he reaches the dwarf doors, you can see him illuminated for a moment by the braziers. And he pushes the doors open and disappears inside.
Awesome.
Well, that was a success. Not the success I intended, but a success nonetheless.
Okay. All right. So if I see that he's gone, I'm going to hightail it towards the water because I want to make sure they're both okay.
I come out, I'm soaking wet. I look over at Violet. I go, okay. I look around for the giant. Don't see the giant.
He went inside.
Fuck. Well, I guess best laid plans of mice. And he pulls out the, and halflings. All right, here.
Oh, Mort! Come here. Good job.
Isn't he just going to be with his friends now, so now we have to fight more of them?
Well, maybe he's gonna, I don't know. We have to get inside because if he starts to get his friends, then now's the chance. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Let's run to the second set of columns and maybe hang out. Let's take the opportunity of cover when we can get it.
Good idea. Absolutely.
So you move up. As Violet mentioned, there are 3 towering obelisks of carved white stone flanking the overgrown path before the bridge. The alabaster is scarred and pitted by the passage of time. There are faded murals depicting legendary quests that can still be seen among the chiseled hieroglyphs. On the ground, shattered and broken, lies the 4th obelisk. It was destroyed when Deepall Point fell. The artwork on that one is scratched and defaced. So yeah, you all are crouching in pairs behind the 2 northernmost obelisks. And looking north, before the bridge, well, 2 statues once stood here. And Theobad, you know that they greeted the faithful before supplicants made their way across the narrow bridge. There's now only 1 statue left. It's a heroic knight kneeling in supplication. It used to have a mated pair, but again, the western statue has been destroyed.
All right, let's move up.
Maliboo will go up to the broken statue.
You feel a sense of dread all of you, as you approach the statues, there's like mounting, free-floating, nameless fear growing in you. Just feeling increasingly disquieted the closer you get to them. Something is screaming at you to run the other way.
Theobad, do you know what this feeling is?
Fear?
Oh yes, I should have phrased that differently. Do you know why we feel very scared as we get closer to these statues? Is that some sort of protection or warning or?
You could, if you wish, make an Arcana check.
Yeah.
Anyone could, actually.
Okay.
It would be Intelligence Arcana.
15.
Maliboo rolled a 2.
Violet got a 17.
I think it's just scary feelings.
Belton got an 18, surprisingly.
All of you sense that this is not a natural sense of dread and fear. Theobad, you've never experienced a feeling like this when approaching the Forbidden Shrine. You suspect that there is some magic at work here, designed to prevent you from moving forward.
Well, now that we understand it, we'll just have to fight through it.
Actually, I'm sorry, Belton, are you immune to fear?
That is a good point. I forgot about that. Yes, I actually have an ability called Fearless, which makes me immune to the effects of the Frightened condition.
Okay, yeah, so Belton, this is not the case for you. You don't even notice that this is happening.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at my hand, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I don't feel anything.
There's some sort of magical fear field that we're in right now. It's trying to repel us, to keep us from going inside.
Can we actually go forward?
You can.
All right,
I guess I'll go first. Maliboo will draw his Dragonbane sword and start heading across the bridge.
As you attempt to cross Maliboo, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
A natural 20.
The fear rattles your bones, makes you weak and pale, Maliboo, but you persevere and you're able to move forward nonetheless. Violet, you must also make one.
Violet got a 13.
You two, Violet, are able to steel yourself and muster your courage, and although something is preying on every bit of doubt and dread
No.
it can find in your psyche, it is not enough to deter you, and you are able to put one foot in front of the other and cross the bridge.
Going anyway.
Belton simply walks across the bridge.
Theobad steels himself, seeing them all struggle, does a little prayer to the Forge God, and then tries to take it at a run.
Okay. And Theobad, you two must make a wisdom saving throw.
Nat 20 for a 23.
Yes.
Nice.
Theobad, sensing your destiny, the closeness of the Forge God, and the possible redemption of your home and your people close at hand, you shut out whatever this arcane terror is and make your way across. As you approach the far side of the bridge, you notice those braziers that have been installed post-invasion, Theobad. And I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative.
Whoa.
No.
Maliboo rolled a 17.
Violet got a 19.
Belton got a 15.
16 for Theobad.
A fist-sized red gem floats up out of each brazier and begins to pulse with a glowing red light. Nothing happens yet. Violet, it is your turn.
I'm going to cast Magic Missile at one of the gems, and I'm going to do it at 2nd level. Oh, for fuck's sake. I rolled a 1, so it's 2 times 4 is 8. 8 points of force damage.
4 eggplants fly from your fingertips. Violet, I'm sorry, were you targeting the left or right brazier?
The left, please.
They kind of arc out over the dark chasm and they all crash into the gem. You see numerous cracks and shards as that clearly did damage that gem, but not destroy it. And it's pulsing with more violent light now. It looks badly damaged, but it is still there.
I'm going to back up 20 feet, and that's my turn.
Maliboo, it is your turn.
Maliboo is going to move directly towards the one that just got hit. He has enough movement, he's going to get there. And as he's going there, his hair is going to start blowing like the same fire, almost looks exactly the same as the braziers. And he's going to do his rage, and he's going to almost move as if he's in slow motion.
Raging Beauty.
He's going to do his Raging Beauty. That's his bonus action. And with his action, he's going to hit it with his sword for a natural 20 for
Oh boy. Oh boy.
A 28
All right.
does. You do hit the gem.
It does 10 points of slashing damage, but it's doubled because it's a crit, so it's 20 points of slashing damage.
Awesome.
So you swing Dragon's Bane in an arc right across the center of the damaged gem, and that gem shatters into 1,000 pieces, and all the little crystalline fragments drop back into the brazier.
Yes.
Nice.
I got one.
All right.
Good job.
And that's his turn.
Theobad, is your turn.
After seeing that display, Theobad takes a breath and says, "This was my home." And he reaches out his hand, and you see this like pool of holy energy scatter across the other gem, and I'm casting Dispel Magic.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay. The gem immediately goes dark and just drops back into the forbidden
That's
zone.
an oldie but a goodie. I love it.
Nice.
That was a dope move.
Yes.
And we are out of combat.
Amazing.
Great.
Damn, we're good.
Are the braziers still...
The braziers are still lit. They're still lit, yes. Yeah.
Do we douse them to try to hide ourselves, or do we leave them on so they don't think anything's weird?
There's light inside, so I think that we leave them on.
Aye.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Nice move there, Theobad. I like that turn the lights off move. That was pretty cool.
And thank you for trilling your R's when you did your little performance. Appreciate the respect.
These two massive towering stone doors are slightly ajar. It looks like the hill giant that fled in terror from Belton's magnificent performance might not have completely closed the doors behind him when he went inside.
See, there we go. And we got a little entranceway for us. Things are looking up. Let me take a look inside. Hopefully there we don't have a giant reception. See what I did there with the... Okay, never mind.
Yes, why don't you take a look?
So I'm going to peek my little halfling head through this door.
Make a wisdom perception check, Belton.
That's a 19.
Yeah.
At least in the immediate entranceway, Belton, it is dark. There is a musty smell rising up. You can clearly see that there is a staircase leading down immediately on the inside of those doors. And, there's enough moonlight and there's enough light from the braziers pouring in. You can see a cold brazier at the bottom of the stairs on a landing. There is a crest on the wall, which is just barely visible in the dim light, and a skeleton, a dwarf by its size, is lying across the entrance.
Oh, no.
So I turn to my other three compatriots and I say, looks like the coast is clear. It's just a little dark inside.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
I think we should try to sneak.
If we there's a brazier down kind of like a little bit further in, but it's out, it's doused.
I can make light.
Yeah, no, that's gonna basically let everybody know where we are.
Why don't you hold my hand again?
Yeah, that'll work. No problem there.
I'm pretty loud.
Oh, what do you mean you're pretty loud?
My armor
Yeah, he's
kind of
noisy.
moves for a second, and it's sort of like...
Well, you could do your best. Maybe you can be quiet enough. Just quiet enough.
Right.
Maybe go last.
Aye.
All right.
The doors are large enough, and the gap between them is wide enough that you can actually slip through without having to open them any more than they are already open.
Okay.
So if the intention is to sneak, let's have a group stealth check, but with disadvantage for Theobad.
Okay. Well, I unfortunately got a 9.
Belton got a 14.
Thank goodness.
Maliboo got a 20.
Thank goodness.
4.
Ugh.
That is still a group success. Maliboo, you look back and notice that Theobad's breastplate is about to scrape between the doors. He's just slightly too wide to slip through, and you kind of get your 4 fingers between his belly and the door and guide him slowly and carefully through. The two of you look back. You notice that pair of braziers flickering beside the entrance. The flames are not moving in the breeze that's whistling through the valley. You feel a weight pressing down on you as if you now carry a great burden. Those stone figures from the other side stare down at you. The eyes of the knight seems to narrow in judgment, but you make your way down into the darkness of the Forbidden Shrine.
Thanks for listening. This episode was Dungeon Mastered by Tal Aviezer, with Carolyn Fox as Violet, Matt Gordon as Belton Freedew, me, Andy Cannistra, as Maliboo, and Zack Byrd of Young Dragonslayers as Theobad Troya. Visit youngdragonslayers.com to learn how they help kids and teens form meaningful relationships and practice social skills through online D&D. This episode was edited by Tal Aviezer and Carolyn Fox. Remember, if you enjoy Podcast Party, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with episode 11 of To Slay a Dragon.